In some textbooks, we have the triangle is labeled this way with alpha opposite side A, beta would be opposite side B, and gamma would be opposite side C. Just remember that these are just the Greek letters for A, B, well, and C. It's not really C, it's the third letter in the Greek alphabet, but you can pretend. So anyway, that's where those symbols are coming from and why you have different symbols here than what you might be used to, but we're dealing with the same stuff. And so in this first problem, I've drawn my triangle, and I'm going to just use the law of cosines. So you're probably going to wonder, how are we going to know? Do we need to use the law of sines or the law of cosines? Well, first thing you try to do is to use maybe the law of sines because it's easier. And then doing that, in order to use the law of sines, you need to have given to you an angle and the side opposite the angle. And here you don't have any of that. So you need to use the law of sines, you need to have information about a side and an angle opposite the angle, or opposite the side. So here we don't have that information, and so we're stuck with this. We're going to use the law of cosines. And since I know angle alpha, and I want to compute angle or side A using the law of cosines, I'm just going to set this up using A on the left side, and then the B and the C. And so let's fill things in. B squared, I guess, is 20, 30, 2 times 20 times 30 times the cosine of 60 degrees. So A squared is 400 plus 900. 2 times 20 times 30 is 1200 times the cosine of 60 degrees. So let's see if I can do my arithmetic without a calculator. So this is going to be 700, I believe. Half of 1200 is 600, and then the arithmetic is pretty easy. So A is going to be the square root of 700, which now I have to pull out a calculator. So bear with me for a sec. Okay, so 700, we'll do the square root. And I got 26.4575. And if I was using this with Pearson, I would want to include all of the digits. Okay, so my next chore is to compute either beta or gamma. Since I'm interested, I'm going to use the law of sines now. Beta will be smaller than gamma because beta is opposite the smaller side. So sine of beta over 20 is equal to sine of 60 over 26.4575. So multiply both sides by 20, and you get the sine of beta is the sine of 60 times 20 over 26.4575. Here, I've already got the 26.4575 in my calculator, and so I'm going to try my best to use that. And I don't see the correct key. Oh, here it is. Okay, sine of 60. Uh-oh, I'm in. And then divide by 26. Oh no, I've already divided. Let's see, back. Times 20. Okay. That doesn't look right. Oh, that is right, yeah. So 0.65465. It goes on. So now I use the inverse sign on my calculator to get the value of this thing. And I'm getting 40.9 degrees. Now that I've got two angles and all of the sides, the last bit is pretty easy. Gamma will equal 180 minus 60 minus 40.9, which is 79.1. All right, let's move on to number Roman numeral 2 here. So I'll put that over here. Let's make a little box just so that we can, oh, I didn't leave myself much room. Well, we'll do our best. Maybe I'll put this up here since I have some room up here. Okay, draw the triangle first. Label the triangle. Alpha is 27.5. A is 28.1. C is 52.8. Okay, so this is a side-side angle situation. And because it's a side-side angle situation, there may be two answers. So we just want to be aware of that. There may be two answers. There may be no answers. May be two answers or none. So let's find out what the situation is. So the way I would do this to see if there's two answers, let's find this angle first. Let's see, this is going to be beta, this is gamma, and this is B. So we're going to look for gamma. So sine of gamma over 52.8 is equal to the sine of alpha over 28.1. That means that the sine of gamma is the sine of 7.5 over 28.1. Let's go ahead and compute. So let's see, clear. Okay, so we have the sine of 27.5, close parentheses, times 52.8 divided by 28.1. So that equals 0.8676. So here we could have a gamma, so I'll just do the inverse sign of that number. And I got 60.184. Or gamma is equal to the other angle. So here we have this. Let's just go 60.184. So that's one of the possible angles. The other possible angle is this obtuse angle that has 60.184 as its reference angle, and that's going to be 180 minus this. It'll always be that way, by the way. If you have two triangles, one of them will be the angle you get from your calculator. The other one will be 180 minus that angle. And I got 119.816 degrees. Okay, so since we have two possibilities, let's draw a line. If alpha is equal to 60.184, or sorry, if gamma is equal to that, then beta is 180 minus 60 minus 27.5. Let's see. So that's 27.499, I guess 0.500. Oh, seriously? Oh, did I make a mistake? Just a minute, I'm going to redo that. I mean, it's weird that it's the exact same angle. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a, let's see, so we have, no, it doesn't make sense to be the same. I must have miscalculated somehow. Let me try again. 180 minus 27.5 minus 60.184. Oh, I'm dividing. Crud. One more try. Minus 60.184 minus 27. Whew, 92. Okay, so that's beta. Let's get beta over here. So 180, maybe I'll write it out. So let's see, minus 119.816, 27. Okay, so that's 32.684 degrees. And then the final step is to get our final side, and that will be different depending on which one we have. So whenever you have two triangles, it's a real pain in the butt. There's a lot of work to do. And so the final side, we have the sine of beta over b is equal to sine of, let's use sine of alpha over a. Okay, so we have b ends up equaling, where are my numbers? 28.1 is a, sine of alpha, and sine of 92.316. And once you've done this work for one of the sides, it turns out the other side is pretty easy because the main difference is the value of beta. So it turns, we have beta, 32.614, or 684. There we go. And so let me go ahead and try to calculate this. Okay, times 92. Okay, so this I'm getting B is equal to 60.8. And this one, okay, crud, clear, 28.1. You know what I need to do is I need to do the arithmetic ahead of time so that you don't have to be bored watching a video of me trying to do the arithmetic and not doing anything. So I may pause this and do a better job with the other two. So I've got 32. 8, 6, 2. Yeah. So here there's two answers. So this is Roman numeral 2. Come on. So you end up with two different answers because of the fact that this is one of those special cases of side-side angle, and there are two. Okay, yeah, let's pause the video. I'll make a second video and I'll do some calculations ahead of time so we don't have to be as bored.